Welcome to Sportbikegrrls, the podcast for women who are obsessed with sport bikes and all things motorcycle. Come join the ride. Hey, Sportbike Girls. Welcome to episode 6 of my podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Spring is almost here, and if you've had to garage your bike for the winter, you are probably busy getting your bike ready for the road right now. Melissa Husong of the Motorcycle Mindset Academy has a great new video up on her YouTube channel to help you get your bike spring ready. Learn more on her website, www.herhandlebars.com. This is a very special episode for me today. I'm chatting with my first overseas guest, the brilliant Anthea McCarten of Kent, England. Like me, she's come to riding later in life. It was after a fateful holiday abroad that introduced her to some bikers who shared their passion for motorcycling with her that she then decided that she too was going to become a rider, and now it's one of the most joyful parts of her life, sharing this love of motorcycles with her husband and a whole new community of friends. But Anthea's life has not always been so happy. She is a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. She endured years of shame and crippling depression as she tried to cope with the aftermath of that abuse. She is the author of a new book entitled Shh, How Childhood Sexual Abuse Almost Stole My Sanity and How I Overcame the Past. It is available now on both Amazon US and Amazon UK. Her story is both heartbreaking and inspiring as she found the voice to speak her truth and then also to help others do the same by becoming a qualified mental health counselor. The subject matter may be very difficult for some to hear, so I do caution you to listen with care. Hey, Sport Bike Girls. So please help me in welcoming Anthea. She is here with me from England. Can you believe it? My first international guest. I am so proud, so excited. Hi, Anthea. How are you today?
Hi there. It is very exciting. Yeah, when we chatted on the phone the other day, it's awesome to think that you can speak across the waters to somebody. Yeah, very exciting.
It really is, right? And you were just telling me, unfortunately, it's a miserable weather day there in England right now.
Lots of rain.
That's too bad. Now, where you are in Kent County. That's in the southeastern part of England.
That's right.
I mean, that is where Canterbury Cathedral, the White Cliffs of Dover. Yeah. So I had to research it because I am a complete Anglophile. I have been since a child. Anything from Shakespeare to Monty Python. All my favorite rock bands are British. So it's just an extra layer of excitement for me to be meeting with you and talking to you today. So thank you.
Yeah,
and even funnier was when you suggested that we talk at tea time. My heart stopped. I was like, oh my God, that's really a thing.
Yeah. Tea time.
Oh my God, I love
English tea. I've had my English tea.
Excellent. Oh my God, just so funny. Okay, so let's get started. Tell us, Anthea, what is your current ride?
At the moment, I've got a Triumph Tiger 900. It's the GT Pro, and it's just beautiful, perfect. I never thought I'd have an adventure bike. Confidence, really, mainly, but I gave it a test ride and was really surprised how light it was. Yeah,
fantastic.
Battery gear changes, and just you feel like you're riding the waves on it. It's just gorgeous.
A Triumph. How exciting. And you've also owned a Honda CBR, right?
Yes, my husband and I joke about this all the time because that was my first bike after I passed my test, the CB650R.
Okay.
So we, when we're bantering, it's on loan, he's borrowing it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it's still mine.
Okay, good. All right, that's good to hear. So tell us, let's start at the beginning. Tell us what motivated you to start riding? Was your husband riding first? Did you have friends that were riding? What was it all like?
No, actually, I didn't know anyone who rode a motorcycle. Nobody. But I used to go on the back of my uncle's bike when I was a teenager.
Okay.
He used to take me on the beach, up on the beach. and he used to take me to the fairground on the back of his bike, and it's just left me with so many wonderful memories. And I got married, had children. The children had flown the nest, and we went on holiday, Turkey, one year.
Oh my!
And we bumped into a couple of people, made friends with them, and they were bikers. And just listening to him, or both of them talk about their adventures, traveling Europe and everything that they'd seen, places they'd been to, and it just stirred something in me and just reminded me of how much I loved it, going on the back of my uncle's bike.
Okay.
And I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do the CBT, see if I like it. There's no pressure that way.
Right.
I did my CBT, and literally as soon as I released that clutch, first gear, released the clutch, went off, I just knew in my gut this was it. This was for me.
That's fantastic.
So I started it all off, yeah, in my family anyway.
Oh my gosh, I love that story so much. Walk us through a little bit. Obviously, I would say most of my listeners are here in the U.S., and I'm just so curious to kind of compare and contrast what the process is like for riders in the U.K. It's probably much more standard for people to ride anything from, Vespa, trikes, scooters, things like that, up to all sorts of different motorcycles. So do you kind of stand out as a woman rider, or is it more commonplace, would you say?
Do you know what? I think I've noticed a difference because I've been riding 3 years now, and even in those 3 years, I've noticed a difference. Although we're still a minority, us ladies, we're a community that is growing fast.
I love it.
Yeah, my friend, she's currently doing her training, her DAS, direct access course. It's good to see so many more female bikers getting on the bikes. And so we do a CBT, and we can hold that like provisional license, if you like, for 2 years.
I see. Okay.
And then we can take our full license anytime within those 2 years.
I see. So the CBT probably is like an equivalent to a permit here for us.
Yeah, it's compulsory basic training.
I see. Okay. And there's lots of like courses available, like to take, like for both classroom and road and that kind of thing, to kind of prepare you for that.
Yeah, with the direct access, you have 2 or 3 days training. Okay. And then you take they're called Mod 1 test and Mod 2 test. So the Mod 1 test is at the examiner, where the examination takes place. It's like a training pad, but they're all mainly slow manoeuvres. So slalom, figure of 8, U-turns, controlled stop, emergency stop, things like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. That sounds like a great preparation. Any challenges, would you say, being a woman rider there?
It's funny, you hear varying stories. Because I belong to various motorcycle groups, lady motorcycle groups, and some ladies will share how they've come up against guys that have been a bit sort of looking down their nose. What are you doing riding a motorcycle? But personally speaking, I haven't encountered anything like that. I had one occasion where it was actually at our local bike meet, where there was a guy that looked me up and down and said, "Oh, you ride your own?" and then went, "Fair play." I think he was impressed. I don't know. but generally speaking, no. I've got so many guy friends, motorbike pals, and they don't treat us ladies any different.
Yeah, it sounds like it's the men outside of the motorcycle community mostly who like to make women feel like it's not their place and what are you doing, that must be is that your boyfriend's bike, that kind of thing.
There's lots of comments like that I've heard from other ladies.
What a great bike, that must be your boyfriend's or your husband's. No, actually it's mine. But thanks.
Or you walk into a showroom and they speak to your husband and completely ignore you. Actually, I'm here for a bike.
Wow. Yeah, unfortunately that's still a universal problem anywhere, whether you're buying a car or motorcycle. So we got to we got to change that, right? But we're working on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, your day job, you are a mental health counselor. How long have you been doing that?
I qualified as a counsellor back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran my own private practice for a couple of years. But what I found was that I felt quite boxed in and hemmed in and restricted. You're not really meant to be disclosing things about yourself when you're working with a client,
right?
Ethically speaking. And because of my story, I just felt like I'd been gagged, and it just didn't feel right. So I decided to close my own private practice and set up a charity supporting survivors. And it was just a platform where I could begin to share my story. Because in my experience, my past was isolation and feeling alone. And as soon as others began to share with me that they'd been through similar experiences as myself, the shame began to lift. It began to lift, and I just thought, I need to share my story. I need other survivors to know that there's hope for healing. Yeah, so
that's great. Yeah, please let's talk about your book. You told me you originally wrote it in 2016, and now that it is available on Amazon in both the US and UK, you actually expanded upon it. Kind of including your new motorcycle journey and how that has helped shape your recovery, basically. So, I mentioned in my intro, the name of the book is Shh, and that's a very significant way to start it. So why don't you share with us what the book is about?
Yeah, so when I wrote the book back in 2016, I was actually writing it with a ghostwriter. And she asked me, what would you like to title the book? And my abuser was my grandfather. And the one time I found my voice, I actually uttered the word granddad. And his response to me was, shh. And living in a world of silence is a big thing for victim survivors of abuse. So often they're told to be quiet and to keep the secret, and that's where the shame comes from. So I thought it was really important to call the book Shush, because I felt a lot of victim survivors would be able to resonate with that. But although he shushed me, it was my first empowering step, if you like. Although I still had a very long way to go in my healing journey, it was my first experience of finding my voice. Because when I uttered the word granddad, he never abused me again after that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's just a really important word, I think.
I've read an excerpt of the book. I've ordered the book. I have not received it yet, but I did download an excerpt, and it is just devastating. And unfortunately, what almost makes the story worse is the way your family handled it. You finally had the courage to share it with them when you were 15, a few years after the abuse had ended, and their basically coping response was, okay, that happened. We're sorry, but we're going to pretend like that never happened. And you were still forced to sit there at a dinner table with him and just pretend everything was normal and fine and it never happened. And that is just, I mean, I get chills. It's just so sickening to think of that, and horrifying.
Yeah, it's a very complex, it was a very complex chapter, because he was very manipulative, because it was my mum's father.
Okay.
And he was very manipulative. And when my own dad went to see him, my grandfather manipulated the situation by saying, no, I didn't. It must have been an accident when we were playing. And obviously with my mum, it being my mum's father, I think my mum needed to believe that because it was her dad.
Of course, yeah.
So she latched onto his version. And I didn't feel, obviously I was still only 15 at the time, I didn't feel I had the words to articulate the truth. But not just that, because it was my mum and it was her dad, this is where the shame, we begin as victims, we begin to carry the shame because we feel like it's our responsibility. If we speak the truth, then it's going to cause a whole lot of trouble, and we own that.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel, inside I was screaming, no, that's not what happened. But I felt shushed. That's the word again. I just felt shushed. I didn't feel able to say, actually, Mum, Dad, that's not what happened. So I allowed his truth, his lies rather, to win at that time.
Sure.
So life carried on as normal.
But then again, it didn't. I mean, yes, because you suffered with years of depression, obsessive compulsive issues. You even attempted to commit suicide at the age of 30. Suffered from eating disorders and heartbreaking. I mean, you actually even shared a photo of you on Instagram of when you were suffering from anorexia, and it's just one of the most brutal, heartbreaking photos I've ever seen. It was just, you were just literally a shell of a person. It was literally. Sadly, millions and millions of adults around the world are dealing with the ramifications of childhood sexual abuse, both men and women, sadly. And just from the little research that I've done on it, it's mind-boggling to think. I mean, it makes sense, but on the other hand, it's just mind-boggling to think that the majority of that abuse happened at the hands of a trusted adult, someone who had basically unfettered access to this child, a family member, a trusted family friend, a clergyman, a teacher, a coach. Even though my story absolutely pales in comparison to yours, it's happened about 40 years ago. I was 11. I was touched inappropriately by a male family member. And I mean, it's still absolutely vivid in my mind, and what made it even more brazen, it literally happened in the presence of my father, but because of where he was sitting in the angle, he couldn't see it. What 11-year-old should be forced to, make the mental calculations? Do I keep my mouth shut? Absolutely. I know this is absolutely inappropriate, what he's doing to me. Do I keep my mouth shut, or do I say something and say, please don't do that, with my father right there, knowing, like you just said, the fallout with my family, like the potential World War III that would happen if I were to say something. So what does a child do? You keep silent. You internalize it, and part of you is angry. Why didn't I stand up and say something and say, get your hand off my ass? I'm 11 years old. Why are you doing this to me?
Well, this is it. When I disclosed to the family, and as the years progressed, much of what you said came up. She's lying. She made it up. It didn't happen, or not the way she said. And then other things that he said, well, she encouraged me. She came on to me. She started it.
Yeah, of course.
And when you think that was between the age of 7 to 12, and like you said, before that happened, we're innocent. We're innocent children, happy in our egotistical state, ego state, and we're just having a blast. But outdoors, playing all the time. My childhood before that, the abuse began, was fun. Such wonderful memories. Just playing in our local streets because we had alleyways. I was on the beach and going to the school fields, just full of fun. And then when that happened, they take you into a very adult world that we are not emotionally and psychologically prepared for.
Absolutely true. Can people access your videos like through your website, or is it just, I know you post them on Instagram, you do wonderful lectures on trauma, toxic shame, to help people cope with these situations and others, experiences they've had in their life?
At the moment, I've just set up a new Facebook page because I'm only just beginning to branch out now. I set up my Instagram account a couple of years ago, and I've been doing fairly regular live videos where I can interact with listeners, so they can ask questions and I can answer them. But they are mainly around mental health. And my Facebook page is Anthea McCarten, public speaker and author, I think is the Facebook page name.
Okay, great.
And Restore the Gears on Instagram. But I've been thinking about doing a website and other things, but it's just one step at a time.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, setting up a website's a lot of work. Yeah, but that would be a great long-term goal for sure. That would be so tremendously helpful and supportive to so many people. I mean, just your videos alone that I've seen were so lovely. You have such a soothing, supportive demeanor, and I'm sure people would absolutely, no question, would benefit from them tremendously. So when you revised your book, you said you the new addendum towards the end there talks about your motorcycle journey. How has motorcycles helped with just your new life and your recovery? And you have a great hashtag. It's Survive and Thrive.
Survivor, Thriver Bikers.
That's it. I love it so much.
Last year, actually, that's something else I need to do. I spoke with someone he's actually designed me a logo, because that's something else I want to do. Because I really would like to build a community within the biking world, that a community of survivors like myself, to really make a thing of it, to break the silence, because that's what I'm about. I want to break the silence. Once that silence is broken, for me, it was that glimmer of hope. That's my message. It's hope. As soon as other loving, supporting friends and family members began to say, "We want to hear you. We're listening," and that's where the hope really began. So, Survivor, Thriver Bikers. We just need to build that community. Yeah.
I just love that. There are some mental health charities that you were even a poster girl for that you support. That beautiful banner.
That was a surprise to me. I did not know that. So literally it was Motorcycle Live in Birmingham, NEC. And we'd set up, a friend and I, we got there a day early to help Mental Health Motorbike set up their stand. And they were rolling out the banners. So there's quite a few of them. And then Paul Oxborough, the founder of the charity, pulled out this banner full size. And I just burst into tears.
Oh.
You didn't tell me you was doing that, but it was such a beautiful, humbling experience. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And what else have you done with them? I know that they're a specific charity just for the biker community, for mental health support. That's tremendous.
So exciting, because they registered as a charity just a few months ago. So it's not been a registered charity for that long, but the niche, they've really found their niche, and there's such a need for support within the motorbike community. You said about me revising my book, and the last couple of chapters I write about becoming a biker and how it's changed my life. But when you start listening to other bikers' stories, you begin to understand that there's so many of us that use this as part of our well-being. This is our self-care. It's how we meditate. It's how we switch off from all the stresses of life. And I did not know at all how much becoming a biker would change my life. And it can sound quite melodramatic, but it's not. It has literally changed my world. It's even my daughter said to me the other day, "Mum, you found your niche." Oh. And so it's just a world where I feel like I fit, not judged. And I mean, we're out with our friends all the time. We're not going out on ride outs, we're at bike nights, and it's medicine for the soul.
Oh, I love that so much. And Anthea, you were absolutely not the first lady to say that to me. I mean, everyone has their different reasons and motivations, but that is the end result. Oh, that makes my heart so happy. Yeah. How often do you actually get to ride? Do you ride solo ever, or do you ride with your groups on the weekends, or?
So I mean, at the weekends we're out with our friends quite a lot. I love the beach. I grew up by the sea, so if I can be on a coastal ride, I will be.
So wonderful.
So that can be a lot of weekends, and even in the winter, if it's not raining, then I'll layer up and I'm out. I need my bike time, because it does help me. When we're talking about mental health, it really does help me get through those days where I'm really struggling. So my bike doesn't stay in the garage for long.
Do you ride primarily in that Kent County area, or have you explored other areas of the UK?
This is it. The UK is so small, isn't it, in comparison when you look at the size of other countries?
Sure.
But there are so many beautiful parts in the UK: Wales, Scotland, Dorset, Somerset, Cornwall. There's just so many lovely parts of the UK to visit. So last year we went to Yorkshire.
Oh, lovely.
And this year we want to do Wales. But next year I want to travel abroad. I want to start. I've made a beautiful connections on Instagram, so I'm hoping to travel Europe next year and meet some of the wonderful connections that I've made on Instagram.
I love that. Oh, I know you're going to make it happen. I know you have such big plans. I'm going to list a link to your Facebook page, and I'm going to list all your other contact info so people can follow you and obviously purchase your book. And we're going to be waiting for that website.
Yes. I think I might need some help with that one. I'm a bit of a technophobe, so
I would actually love to have a website for my podcast as well, but there's no way that's happening by myself. So
no,
I have to pull in the big guns for that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
In May, I'm going to be setting up a charity ride out for mental health motorbike.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to be giving probably be 20% of royalties of my book to mental health motorbike.
Oh.
And then my husband and I will be matching whatever's raised from the sales of my book. We'll match that, and then donate that to mental health motorbike. And I put my feelers out a couple of weeks ago. Let's see how this goes, how much interest there'll be. And my phone was just going bing, 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 bing.
I can
so
only
many
imagine.
People were interested to do a ride out for mental health motorbike. Yeah,
I love it. Okay, so please, as soon as you have all that info, when you post it, I'll be sharing that as well. So hopefully spread the word in your part of the world.
Yeah.
I would love it if someday I could come ride with you. I've been to Europe several times.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I've never been to England. And I'm so afraid if I go, I'm not going to come back. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, you need to come and have a cream tea in Canterbury.
Yes. Yes, please. Oh my gosh. And I have to say, I don't think there could possibly be a more appropriately named bike than a Triumph for you to be riding.
Yeah.
I believe that with all my heart. And
triumphant,
you are the literal definition of triumphant. You are so brave and so strong, and you even told me when we spoke earlier that you wrote the book. I mean, committing it to paper was such a major accomplishment in itself, but then you said I had to kind of wait until I released it to Amazon. I almost wasn't quite ready to take that next step. That is absolute bravery to share that story and know that you're the victim, but you're the survivor, and there is no shame on you in any way, shape, or form, for what this person did to you. So it's such a valuable lesson for you to share with people worldwide, no matter what their situation is.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a cathartic writing the book. Recalling the memories was painful, but cathartic in if anyone's been and had counselling, they'll know about inner child work. And I thought I had connected with my inner child, but when I was in the process of writing a book, I was watching family videos of when I was a little girl. And before I started writing the book, I'd watch the videos and see the little Anthea in the family vids, and I had to look away. She repulsed me because she represented someone who was really needy and broken and constantly seeking attention and affirmation. And then when I was writing the book, I was watching the family videos again to show my ghostwriter, and I just burst into tears, and for the first time actually felt compassion for that little girl that I was watching in the videos. And I think say that was the first time I'd really connected with her. And that's when we can really begin that inner child work and tell that little girl or boy, that you're safe, you're going to be okay. And if I'm ever having really bad days, I remind little Anthea just how amazing she is and how far she's come when she's feeling vulnerable and broken. I think we can all relate to that. So yeah, I still do it even now. Have a bad day. Come on, Anth. You're doing amazing. Come on, girl. You're gonna be okay.
That is beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Anthea, it was such a privilege talking to you today. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. I can't wait to post this episode and share your story and inspire other ladies in the UK and around the world to make that leap and enjoy all the benefits of motorcycle riding that you have discovered and so many others.
Throttle.
Yes. Keep getting ladies to join and take those classes and get their permits and their license and just carry on. So please let's keep
change your life.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's keep in touch. I want to hear more about your story, and I want to hear all about your great upcoming events so I can share them with my listeners. Okay.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day. Thank you again.
It's been amazing.
Likewise. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's all for today. Thank you so much for being here. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sportbikegrrls for a complete schedule of all upcoming episodes, as well as more information about all of my amazing guests. Have a great day.